Hi everyone, in today's tutorial I'm going to show you on how to go ahead and draft up this pattern. If this is something you've been wanting to create, here is the right tutorial for you. First thing I want to do is to go ahead and draw a straight line because I realized my pattern is not straight. After that, I will go ahead now and take my shoulder measurement, divide it by 2. My shoulder measurement is 14. Divided by 2 is going to give me 7 inch. I will mark that up. I'm going to slant it down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. I'll move now to my armhole depth. To get the armhole depth is by dividing around your bust by 6, then you add 1.5 inch to it. I will mark the neck depth and the neck width of 3 by 3 inch. The next thing I want to do is to go ahead. I will be connecting all those points up together like you can see me doing here. Then I will measure up whatever I have here, divide it by 2, which is 7 divided by 2 is going to give me 3.5 inch. I will go in by 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch. I did 3/4 inch. I'll take round bust divided by 4. Mine is 34 divided by 4 is going to give me 8.5. I'm go ahead now and mark it, and I'm going to connect that point up. I will measure from the shoulder to the bust point and mark that up, shoulder to the under bust, mark that up, shoulder to the waist and mark, and I'm going to be connecting it with straight lines. After doing so, I'll take the nipple to nipple or bust span separation, whatever you can call it, divide it by 2. Mine is 7 divided by 2, it's going to give me 7. I will mark that up, and I'm going to on the waistline, I'm going to mark that 3.5, okay, which is 7 divided by 2 is going to give me 3.5. Under a bust, I'll mark 3.5. On the chest, the bust point line, I will mark 4 inch. Therefore, you're adding 1/2 inch to it, right? And connect that up. But before we go ahead to connect this point, what I'm going to do is to come here. I will measure up whatever I have and divide it by 2 and mark the center point. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect it all the way to the point we mark on the bust point line, then connect it all the way to the under bust line like this. You can see, right, it's not straight. From the under bust, you notice that it is not straight. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be marking 1/2 inch both sides. I'll do the same thing, then I'll connect it all the way to the under bust line. And now what I'm going to do is to go ahead and we mark up my dots right there. I'm going to be doing 1.025, then I'll do 1/2 inch at the center. But before I go ahead to do so, I'm going to have to connect these points up. You can choose to use your dart just at the sides that goes towards the armpit, okay? But like I said, I'll be doing 1.025, connect it up like you can see. The next thing I want to do is to go ahead now. We mark 1/2 inch, okay? Then I'm going to connect it all the way straight. Then I'll also connect it up like you can see me doing here. After doing so, what I'm going to do is you want to choose how low you want the top to be. I will have to come at the bust point line. I'm going to go up by 2 inch, or you can measure 7 inch or 7.5 inch from the shoulder, whichever way you prefer. Both work the same way. So I'm doing 7.5 inch. From that point, I'm going to go ahead and mark 0.75. At the center, I'll mark 0.75. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect it up like you can see me doing here. Connect this other side as well. After that, what I'm going to do is to connect it. You can choose to connect it straight. You can choose to give it a sweetheart shape. And here it also depends on you, whatever you want to achieve, okay? I've just connected all the way to the bust point line because I don't want mine to be too deep. Next thing I want to do is to come on the bust point line. I'm going to come to the the armhole depth line, go down by 1 inch, or you can do 1.5 inch. I did 1.5 inch. Then I'm just going to go ahead now and draw the new chest line, connect it up, all right, like you can see me doing. Then I blend it up. I'll be putting the round waist divided by 4. Then I'll replace back my dots allowance. Then I also add sewing allowance. You need to add your sewing allowance, okay? I'll come to the under bust. I'll put a round underbust divided by 4, and I'll replace back the that allowance. Then I'll do the same thing at the chest line. I'll take round bust divided by 4, mark that up. I'm going to measure up the dart and I replace it back. Remember, we took 0.75 both sides to place that back up. Then we're going to go ahead and mark, and we'll be connecting that point up. Okay, after doing so, what I'm going to do is to connect it up the side seam with a straight line. I'm placing up like this. I'll just have to connect it all the way straight down. This is what it look like. Now we're going to be drafting up the back. Is very simple. There is no thing complicated about it. So I'm just simply going to measure up whatever I have here, and we will use it to draft up the back. So I am going to separate this part up from the pattern before I will start to draft up my back. So I'm going to be going down by 1/2 inch, and now from that 1/2 inch I'll go ahead and mark that 9 inch, and I will roll a straight line. I also roll another straight line. I'll connect this point all the way straight down. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the nipple to nipple divided by 2. I will mark it up. Then I'm going to roll a straight line. After that, I'm going to mark at least 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch both sides. So you can do 3/4 inch. You can choose to do 1 inch. That's optional. Then I will connect it up. After doing so, I'll put 1/4 of my bust measurement, which is 34 divided by 4. It's going to give me 8.5. Then I'll add 1 inch. Okay, do the same thing at the waist. Round waist divided by 4, mark, and you add 1 inch for the that's allowance. Now this is what we have. Next thing I'm gonna do is to come here, measure up whatever I have and divide it by 2. All right, but this depends if you're going to be using a zipper. But before I go ahead and divide it by 2, I'll be adding 1 inch for my zipper. All right, we'll be working on that. Now measure up and divide it by 2. Measure up whatever I have from that line, divided by 2. This is to eliminate the zipper botch, okay, so that your zipper should not be looking funny. Go in by 1/2 inch, connect it like you can see me doing here, and do the same thing here. Once I'm done doing so, this is for the zipper. If you want to use loops, all right, if you're not going to be using a zipper, you either go in by 1.5 inch. The lowest you should go in should be 1.5 inch. Remember, if you go in by 1.5 inch, automatically you're taking 1.5 inch, 1.5 inch both sides. You can go in up to 2.5 inch. Okay, like I said, depending on how wide you want the opening behind to look like. So once we're done doing so, I'm just going to go ahead and level it up. 1 and 2. All right, 3 denim, 4. All right, so after doing so, we will go ahead now and cut up our pattern, and we are coming to the end. So if you watch this tutorial so far and you like what you actually see, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, and follow me for more. All right, so if you're not using the zipper, you simply go ahead and cut up that zipper allowance. So we are done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you some other time. Bye bye.